hold the line.
One last battle to hold the line against the night.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. Hold the line. No one gets through, no matter what.
Sir, what are your orders?
There's only one order, Lieutenant. We hold.
Incoming transmission.
Allied reinforcements have arrived from the west.
On Mojo 50 Radio. The Millennial Conservative Resistance begins right here, right now.
Oh, yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the new Millennial Conservative Resistance does indeed begin right here, right now, with you. You are listening to, and I hope you're watching, the HoloNet here on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50 Radio. I do apologize for my momentary distraction there. I have a dog, and she decided to come slide into the studio here. Let me see if I can get her to come over here. Autumn. Come on, girl. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Autumn, up. Autumn, up. Come on, baby. Up, up. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. No. Oh, you're still a good girl. I'm going to take the camera down to you so you can see. Who's the good girl? Who's the best girl? Look at that dog. Look at her. She's a sweetie. Autumn is a Catahoula German Shepherd mix, and she's about 12 years old. And she is a wonderful dog. She is the goodest girl, as they like to say online. The goodest girl. Anywho. Momentary distractions aside, if you hear something snoring in the background during the show, that's her. Anyway, I love my dog. Today, it is Saturday. It is the year of our Lord, 2020, June the 6th. And year 4 of the Trumpian age. We are in the Plague Lands in the time of the Rona. And, yeah, it seems like the 1960s again, doesn't it? Doesn't it just? Little rough. Before we delve in to this week's latest round of shenanigans, first thing I want to talk to you about is American Pride Roasters Coffee. AmericanPrideRoasters.coffee, the official coffee of Mojo 50 Radio. You can get the Franklin. The Frederick Douglass, which is oddly appropriate for the time. You can get the Madison, which is cinnamon and cocoa. The George Whitefield. The Teddy Roosevelt, and of course, all of your favorite Mojo 50 style blends. You've got the Izzo, the Izzo's Rage, the angriest coffee of all time. You've got Watson Prunier's White Chocolate, which they created specifically to get the virtue signalers off their back. You've got Doc Thompson's Bacon Blast Silent Cal's 3-pound box, Ron's Sessual Chocolate, and still no HoloNet fuel. DM at DM. Talking to you, buddy. Come on, you know you want to do it. Anyway, I mean, seriously, I drink such an obscene and absurd amount of coffee that it just seems a natural idea. Okay? So, yeah. By the by, I did want to let you know, Lee's Blend is the official coffee for the Lee's Mission, the official charitable organization of APR Coffee. They are changing the lives for children all over the world. Please check out their exclusive premium Kenyan coffee, an add-on item available with every coffee on the page. 100% of every pound of Lee's Blend goes directly to Lee's Mission, and they have the Facebook page right here also for you. So, got that out of the way. We talked about the most fantastical coffee ever imbibed by mankind, and that is the American Pride Roasters Coffee. So, we are going to go to a story right here in the Zona during the time of the Rona. That would be Glendale, Arizona, with, get this, Arizona Christian University. Arizona Christian University apparently did not feel that the ability to express speech is an important Christian value, free speech and honesty. We go to Glendale, this story from 3TV CBS 5. An incoming college freshman here at the Valley just got her scholarship taken away following comments she made online about the death of George Floyd. The high school class of 2020 cheerleader from Ohio was supposed to be heading to the Phoenix area this fall to join Arizona Christian University's acrobatic and tumbling team. But her scholarship has since been revoked after a controversial post on her Instagram page. The post said that everyone needs to just... Hang on, I can do this. Everyone just needs to... about this guy who died, and that he should have followed the law. Her post continues to say, he wasn't innocent, he was doing something illegal. I will read you the whole post here. If it'll actually expand it. Come on. Sorry guys, my main computer is not being nice to me today. I don't know why. Okay, so here is the post the young woman made to her page. For those of you not watching on mojo50.com or facebook.com/mojo50 or the Holonet or YouTube or BitChute, there I hit them all. I will make sure that I read this for you. Quote, I honestly, everyone needs to just about this guy who died. Follow the law and there won't be issues. If you don't agree with me, I don't give a... because whatever you say won't change my mind. He wasn't innocent. He was doing something illegal. My favorite cop will always be Brandenburg. End of story. Also, Trump 2020. Might as well everybody off. All right? That is the whole thing. The whole post. In context, left nothing out except for the censored bits. And I'm betting that last one was piss. Okay? So she said, I honestly, everyone needs to just about this guy who died. Follow the law and there won't be issues. If you don't agree with me, I don't give a... because whatever you say won't change my mind. He wasn't innocent. He was doing something illegal. I censored for no reason there. My favorite cop will always be Brandenburg. End of story. I don't know who the hell Brandenburg is. Also, Trump 2020. Might as well piss everyone off. Well, you did. I don't know how, though. She didn't say anything that was wrong, factually. The guy had a rap sheet the size of my leg. I mean, like, huge, long, thick. But anyway, he had a long rap sheet. He apparently, and this coming from sources out there, specifically called up by Steven Crowder, this guy had a rap sheet that included assault and armed robbery. Okay, he did some time. Did he deserve to die? No. Did he deserve to get his neck pressed in by a police officer? No. And I use the phrase police officer to identify this man's occupation, not his soul, because that's no cop, boys and girls. I don't know how the badge stays on because it was pinned to slime. To borrow a great quote from, oh God, what was that show? It was this show with Steve Urkel. Family Matters? Was that Family Matters? But anyway, hey, big shout out to Kelly. Not that Kelly, the other one. You know which one you are. Kelly Townsend, Representative Kelly Townsend, state of Arizona. She actually reposted that famous clip of Family Matters when the son actually gets racially profiled, and the father, who is a police sergeant, goes and handles some business and faces down the racist cop that profiled his son, and it's a great scene. But anyway, I digress. On Monday, that post, along with another post from May showing the student signing her offer letter to ACU and stating she was excited to grow closer to God, was shared thousands of times. By Tuesday afternoon, the university, which is in Glendale and has about 750 students, rescinded its offer. In other words, they bent the knee. stating that the university is a, quote, racially diverse community and they would be praying for her. Oh, they're praying for her. You're praying for her. Even though she might have put the deposit down on an apartment, even though she might have gone ahead and accepted a job here, even though insert 10, 20 other things here, and you turned around and canned her for an Instagram post where she stated factually accurate information about George Floyd and said, everyone needs to just blank about this guy who died. Follow the blanking law and there won't be issues. That's her opinion. You're allowed to have an opinion. We've had this discussion here on the HoloNet before. You have the right to be an asshole. And I didn't bleep that, and I probably should have. Also this week, a similar scenario played out at a university in Milwaukee. Go figure. With the school revoking a scholarship to an incoming female lacrosse player. Are there male lacrosse players? I'm curious. For insensitive, air quotes, comments she made about Floyd on Snapchat. Quote, with everything that is going on, it can affect teenagers. And again, they have more time on their hands, said Courtney Gaines, a nurse practitioner with Teros Health. Gaines said parents should talk to their teens about inflammatory posts along with the consequences of this behavior, explaining to them some things you should consult with us before you put it on social media. Also ask them, what were you feeling about this? What were you thinking about doing, said Gaines. She was thinking about voicing her frustration about the bullshit that is surrounding the tragic death of a man while in police custody, but how it has been taken and conflated and warped and pumped up into this massive moment for Black America. He is not a martyr. And if you want a martyr, there are better ones to pick. Yes, there is a problem with racial profiling in this country. Yes, there is a problem with policing, but none of these protests are suggesting any answers. None of these protesters are suggesting any answers. The answers that we have are so fanciful and so pants-shittingly stupid that they don't bear repetition. I'll give you one from another link here. This we throw to New York Times. Cities ask if it's time to defund police and, quote, reimagine public safety. Imagine there's no heaven. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to live or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people getting murdered and raped 'cause there's no cops. Come on! You would think that a logical progression to seeing them burning a Target to a crisp, them being looters and rioters, to seeing them smash into Scottsdale Fashion Square, make off with a couple $100,000 worth of stuff, burning down stuff in LA, burning down stuff in Minneapolis. You'd think this would be an argument for more police, not less. I want more cops in the field. I want better body armor for the cops. I want better training for the cops. I want better de-escalation. I want better tools. I want higher pay for the cop. Give them more money. You want to put an end to corruption? Make sure they're making enough money. You won't have a cop on the take when he's pulling down enough to live comfortably with his family. I'm not saying it's going to prevent it in all cases because you got greedy bastards. But this is where hiring practices, training, and ongoing training come into play. There are hundreds of thousands of great law enforcement officials that are out there. Wonderful Leos that are also born in August, like me. I digress. Defunding police is the most batshit insane concept to come out of this entire conversation, to come out of this entire moment in history, as they like to call it. No! Budgets are being reevaluated now by Farrah Stockman and John Elligan after more than a week of protests against police brutality and unrest that left parts of the city burned. A growing chorus of elected officials, civic leaders, read activists, and residents in Minneapolis are urging the city to break up the police department and reimagine the way policing works. We are going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department, said Jeremiah Ellison, a member of the city council, on his Twitter this week. And when we're done, we're not simply going to glue it back together. We're going to dramatically rethink how we approach public safety and emergency response. Yeah? How you gonna do it, Jerry? You gonna start handing out flowers? Bubblegum and candy? Are you going to put people in bouncy rooms? What's your concept? What do you got? All you're telling me is you're going to tear something down. You don't have a friggin' thing to say. Not one thing to say about what you're going to replace it with. You aesthetic wacko. But big shocker, because he's related to Keith Ellison, right? Psychological instability does tend to run in the family. Doesn't run through mine, though. It stops to get to know each one of us individually and impart its wisdom. At least 3 others, including City Council President Lisa Bender. Boy, the temptation to make a Bender joke from Futurama there is pretty overwhelming. But I'm pretty sure this Bender isn't great. Said... have also called for taking the police department apart. Minneapolis is not the only city asking the question. Across the country, calls to defund, downsize, or abolish the police. There we go. I realized I've been, redlining the hell out of my setup here, so people are probably like, ow, my ears! Yeah, loud Matt today. I am trying to take over the vacant position of the loudest host on Mojo 50, okay? Let me know how I'm doing. So, Minneapolis is not the only city asking the question. Across the country, calls to defund, downsize, or abolish police departments are gaining new traction after national unrest following the death of George Floyd, a black man who died after a white police officer pressed a knee onto his neck for nearly 9 minutes on a busy Minneapolis street. I want to readdress how the New York Times is framing this. A black man who died while in custody in the course of resisting arrest. That kind of gives you context, you know? After a white police officer pressed a knee on his neck for nearly 9 minutes on a busy Minneapolis street. You can go on with the rest of it, but please remember to add into the context, this dude was actively resisting arrest. He refused to get in the back of the car. That's resisting arrest, guys. Look at the laws. On Wednesday, Mayor Eric Garcetti of Los Angeles announced that he would cut as much as $150 million from a planned increase in the police department's budget. Boy, doesn't that warm your cockles? Gets you right in the cochlear region, right? Because if you're a cop with the LAPD, that is already one of the most jobs in recorded human history. That is lining up to be an object of hate and revilement for your entire career. Your career is people hate you, every day sucks. That is LAPD, based on what I've heard. Okay? This is the department that had Rodney King happen to them. They also happened to Rodney King. But you're going to cut their budget by $150 million from a planned increase, most of which was going to pay increases. Guys, you're not going to be able to get a cop in some of these cities. I really need to get a sponsor who sells guns, but they don't need radio ads right now because they've been picked the clean. So on the phone with, I was on chat with Eli Bruton the other day. Eli Bruton from Liberty Tree Arms. Where the hell's Liberty Tree? I keep forgetting what state they're in. I think they're in Missouri. And he's got his own show now, the Gun Shop Show. And you can check that out. I actually shared that link on facebook.com/HoloNet. Yeah, they're pick clean. Pick clean. Alpha Dog Firearms out here in Arizona. Similar situation. Check your local gun store. Good chance there's nothing left. Why? Everybody realizes if we keep going this way, you're not going to have cops. You're going to dial 911 and ain't nobody coming. Nobody's coming. You're the first responder. Speaking of which, you should go to preparewithmojo50.com. Preparewithmojo50.com. Why? The aforementioned help ain't coming concept? Yeah, that. It's about preparedness, not panic. Preparedness, not panic. Don't be afraid, be ready. Go to preparewithmojo50.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com. Preparewithmojo50.com. You can get yourself a 4-week emergency food supply that's 2,000 plus calories a day, 284 servings. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks. You save $100 today. Normal price $297. Right now, $197. Limit 3 per household. Okay, so you can invest. Just let's see, 369. So you can invest $591 before tax. Okay, so just under $600, and you can get 3 people a 4-week emergency food supply. Now, if you got a big family like mine, you got to do this in more than one order. Otherwise, you're kind of boned because I've got 4 kids. I need to do this twice. Yeah, there's 2. That's 3. That's 2. Anyway, get on to preparewithmojo50.com. Free shipping and handling, normally $7.95. Limit 3 per household, $197 per. Here are the foods inside the 2-week supply kit. The 4-week actually comes with even more than that. Look, it comes with orange juice here. Is that pudding or is that chocolate cake? What the hell? Really? All right. Honey, I'm buying these. Yeah, 3 of them. Screw the tax return. This is where it's going. Anyway, the most responsible thing you can do with your Trump bucks, make it happen today. Get on preparewithmojo50.com. By the way, if you want to get any of the other great products that are on mypatriotsupply.com, that's cool. You don't have to get these too. Just start at preparewithmojo50.com, and from there, you can browse into My Patriot Supply, check out their whole catalog, and they will know that Mojo50 sent you. Please do that today. They are a great supporter of our network and a great supporter of fantastic libertarian conservative content here on the mighty, the powerful Mojo50 Radio, the last bastion of free speech on the airwaves. Mojo50 Radio. All right, so what are we going to do after the half? By the way, links are going to be in the description to this New York Times piece of crap. So you can see all about all these cities that want to abolish their police departments and just welcome effing anarchy into their streets. Because, yeah, isn't that just such a good idea? It's such a good idea. You're just going to hand the cities directly over to the gangs. Just leave the keys, and they'll take good care of it. You know, that it's like MS-13, the Bloods and the Crips are like, got you, Holmes. Peace. Yeah, I know that was bad. But still, this is insanity. Did you ever watch the movie RoboCop? Or have you ever lived through a police strike? When you call the cops and nobody comes, people die. People will die in the cities that abolish their police departments. Saying it now, take down the date. June 6th, 2020. Cities are talking about abolishing their police department, and Matt Holloway from the HoloNet is telling you, people are going to die. All right. When we come back, I'm going to need to get some duct tape to strap around my head because you're not going to believe the crap that is going on around the world in response to all this madness. You're listening to the HoloNet on the mighty powerful Mojo50. We'll be right back.
no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just give that rhythm everything you got.
Listening to the Holonet on Mojo 50 Radio. The Millennial Conservative Resistance begins right here, right now.
Oh, we're back. You're listening to Holonet on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50 Radio. I'm your host, Matt Holloway. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you so much for staying with us, because I didn't think anybody was gonna. But anyway, I want you to go check out our sponsors for this half hour. Quantum Biofeedback at newlifeholistic.com, Quantum Biofeedback and newlifeholistic.com. Locations in the Chicagoland area, up in Chi-Town, and also you can, of course, give them a call, and you can reach them at 1-833-4BioLife, 1-833-4BioLife. Tell them you were sent by the HoloNet on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50. They will take excellent care of you. In order to fix your body, in order to fix your life, first you have to fix your mind. They actually have a fantastic system of quantum biofeedback, which is used by West Point Military Academy, the NASA Astronaut Training Center, the Olympic Training Center, Pro Golf Circuit. It is absolutely amazing. Izzo swears by it. I believe even Brad Staggs has benefited from it, and now you have the opportunity to benefit from it too. Okay? Quantum Biofeedback. Check it out now at newlifeholistic.com or 1-833... Here we go. 4BioLife. 1-833-4BioLife. Check it out today. Thank you. All right. So, I will show you another good trick that I know. Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago, denounces vigilantism in Chicago after white men patrol the streets with bats. God forbid they did it with guns. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said the city will not tolerate vigilantism after groups of mostly white men patrolled the streets of Bridgeport neighborhood on Wednesday night in response to a nearby city protest. That is good. Multiple streets were blocked in the Bridgeport neighborhood Wednesday night as nearby protests dispersed. Near West Pershing Road, water gushed from an open fire hydrant as small groups gathered on the corners. Some of the men held bats. One wore a t-shirt that said, "All Lives Matter." One sipped a beer, and another one waved at an officer as he drove by. Don't they sound like the violent sort? Additional groups of people, some armed with bats, lined West 31st Street. Asked about the situation in Bridgeport, a diversifying neighborhood that served as an Irish-American power base for the Daley political family, Lightfoot said, "It is absolutely not appropriate for people to take up arms, bats, pipes, whatever, in patrolling their neighborhoods." Really? It's funny when mayors like you muzzle the police and keep them on such a short leash that they can't possibly act in defense of property rights and people, but they daren't use bats to defend themselves. All right, moving right along. You know, I'm just going to jump to this. A friend of the network, not a friend of the network, friend of the HoloNet, specifically, attended the protests here in Phoenix. Okay, this has nothing to do with the story up on the screen if you're looking up at the screen, even though that's a good picture. That's a story from Politico we're going to get to in a second. The protests after Floyd's death have reached rural America. You know, they've reached Arizona, all right. So I'm going to read this to you from... This comes from a prominent Latino business owner in the Phoenix area. A friend of the HoloNet has helped us out multiple times. He went down on Monday. And, well, I'll let him tell it. And I'll read this content to you. I'll repost this on the HoloNet if you'd like to read it as well. He said, "I drove downtown on my way home Monday and then again today. On Monday, I saw only a few people with signs. Today, I tuned into KTAR, and they said there were about 50 people downtown. As I drove by, I saw people with signs walking toward the center of town. I decided to get out and see what the extent of tonight's protests would be. I walked, and there were others around, mostly wearing masks. I did not wear a mask, since it was not crowded at this point. When I got near Central, I saw a large crowd march in the distance. I intercepted the march and watched it go by in front of the stadium where the Suns play. I then walked to the rear of the march near some trailing street-clothed police. As I walked, I ran into Fox 10. I asked how many people they thought there were out there, and they said at least 1,000. The lady in the picture with me, sorry I don't have that up on screen because it's identifying. Lady in the picture with me started a conversation, and we walked and were at the tail end of the march. She was live streaming on Periscope. She was very pleased that to this point it was peaceful, but warned the next day could be more emotional, as tomorrow would be the funeral of George Floyd. For some reason, she was really interested in me staying next to her, and I, in return, was interested in learning about her take on the protests. We made our way up to the middle of the march, at which time I wore a mask. I told her I was a conservative, which did not seem to bother her, and maybe made her take a bit more interest. The group approached a small staging area of police. The marchers kneeled in what I was told was a sign of respect to victims of police brutality. Pause here. We're going to get back to that later because bullshit. Anyway, There were lots of people distributing water all along the march. Some people were dehydrated and did not last long. For the record, pausing here, in Phoenix, it was triple digits and higher. It was like 109 at midday, 109, 113 in some places. So yeah, it gets hot. But back to the narrative. I was wearing my dress shoes and jeans and a long-sleeve dress shirt and had no problems. There was a large group of police in riot gear down the street. The protesters noticed this and ultimately marched towards them. At this point, I was in front taking pictures. When the march reached the police, the lady I was with asked them to kneel in solidarity. The police did not acknowledge this request and did not kneel. Good job, Phoenix. Good job, Phoenix PD. That's not sarcastic. Good job. Kneel in front of no man. I kneel to no one. I bend the knee before the throne of God. I kneel to no man. All right. What I saw at this point was police that were on edge, as if they had the whole world on their shoulders. They did not react to the march, even as protesters walked up to them, and they were chanting and assigning the deeds of bad cops to all. These police are our neighbors with families, and the community should be proud of their service under such circumstances. You're damn right. The protesters were mostly 20-something-year-olds, 85% in my estimation. Mostly young 20s, kids that were so young they never had to experience any real adversity and had never taken or had to have ever taken care of themselves. They were robots. They just wanted to fit in and were desperate to be part of something. I'm going to read that again because this is some hard damn truth that this country needs to understand. This is a leaderless movement. It is the mob mentality for a generation with emptiness in their souls who crave to be part of something meaningful and have never felt that they were part of something meaningful in their lives, all the while not realizing that simply being an American, being a member of your family, being a member of your faith, that is where meaning is derived. Well, it's a couple of places where meaning is derived, but I'll read that again. They were robots. They just wanted to fit in and were desperate to be a part of something. They didn't have any solutions, just chants. And these chants weren't aimed at politicians that can make a policy. They were directed at police. The police with the world on their shoulders. This is a dangerous situation that will take one person doing something stupid for this to erupt. Very true. I left the march with a renewed appreciation for our police. I also believe that most of these protesters don't want trouble. However, I also left believing that these protests have nothing to do with the death of George Floyd, but is more a reflection of this generation of whiny, privileged kids that have never added to society and have no sense of belonging. I expect these kids will ultimately put as much effort into this as they do toward anything useful and will get bored. Let's hope this happens soon before someone in that group does something dangerous. So I want to thank that friend of the HoloNet for putting himself to the hazard and bringing us that very astute series of observations. Again, I'm going to copy and paste this, a little copy pasta. This came from his own account. And this is going to go on theholonet.com so you can read it and check it out along with some of the photos that he took while he was there. Of course, for the safety of the individual, I am not revealing their identity. But you can check this out on theholonet.com. I'll make sure it's there. Whiny, privileged kids that have never added to society and have no sense of belonging. Now, bear that in mind as we go to the next story, this coming from Politico. Politico writes, protests after Floyd's death reach rural America. Growing minority communities are finding their voice in speaking up for social issues. Boise, Idaho. For the record, Boise, not rural. That's a city, guys. That's a city. Demonstrations sparked by the death of George Floyd have spread well beyond major urban centers to cities and towns across rural America. In Boise, thousands of people attended a peaceful vigil this week honoring Floyd, the black Minnesota man who died after white police. How about just police? After police officer pinned his... Because for the record, the guy who pinned him was a white dude. He had an Asian dude with him. Actually, it looked like two Asian dudes. And at least one Hispanic fellow, is my understanding. Okay? Who stood there and did absolutely, positively all. He did nothing. He did nothing. Just let it happen. Pinned his neck for almost 9 minutes, and others who lost their lives to police abuse. Demonstrations after the Tuesday evening vigil lasted until 2:30 a.m. for the third day in a row. Events in Boise were among demonstrations in more than 350 cities across the U.S. since Floyd's death, many in urban areas such as New York, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. But the protesters' message against racism and police has resonated in smaller cities and towns, like Boise, as growing minority communities begin to find their voice. Isn't that grand? You know, people have the right to protest. People absolutely have the right to protest. But I want to refer back to that account of the protest that very little of this seems to actually have a damn thing to do at all with George Floyd. Just saying. Now, from another friend of the HoloNet, we have another piece of news. Okay, this comes from Call of Duty. You know, the video game? The video game. Every time you load into the game now, ever since a recent patch came out, this screen displays. Now, you can see this on the HoloNet's Facebook and on YouTube and on BitChute. I will read it for you, for people listening on the radio. It is a load screen where you have to acknowledge it by pressing X to start. So they want you to read this. In bold, over a black screen, in all caps, white type. Black Lives Matter. Our community is hurting. The systemic inequalities of our community experiences are once again center stage. Call of Duty and Infinity Ward stand for equality and inclusion. We stand against the racism and injustice our black community endures. Until change happens and Black Lives Matter, we will never truly be the community we strive to be. Press X to start. This is in Call of Duty. This is in a damn video game, guys. Right now, the protests and the riots and the civil unrest is essentially inescapable. It is on every damn channel. If you go on social media, it fills your newsfeed. On Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. I don't care what it is. It's everywhere. Games are escapism, damn it. Do you really need to see this every time you fire up your favorite game? Not my favorite game. I'm not a big fan of shooters. I play real-time strats like Red Alert Command and Conquer, which just released their 25th anniversary remastered edition, which I've been playing the hell out of. But really, do we need to see that every time we load into a game? People play games. People watch movies. People do these things to escape from reality. It's escapism. It's what it's for. Now I've got a bunch of stories like Justin Trudeau taking a knee during an anti-racism protest. Apparently it's a position that he's very well accustomed to. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip it because I've taken too long and I've got only 15 minutes left, so I got to pick and choose. But I did want to talk to you about this. This coming from the other place, from theblaze.com. Jeff Sessions apparently shut down Ilhan Omar in a Twitter spat and then asked her, "How's your brother, by the way?" That's gotta hurt.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, he really did say that. So former Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Representative Ilhan Omar, the representative from Minnesota, sparred on social media on Friday after the Congresswoman called for the disbanding of the Minneapolis Police Department. Sessions ended the battle, hitting out at Omar over allegations that she previously married her own sibling, asking the Democrat, "How's your brother, by the way?" Rep. Omar declared on Twitter, quote, "The Minneapolis Police Department has proven themselves beyond reform. It's time to disband them and reimagine public safety in Minneapolis." Sessions reacted by writing, "Radical leftists like Ilhan Omar and the rest of the squad are dead wrong. Don't defund the police. Defund the thought police." Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, way to go, Jeff. To which Omar responded, "You called the NAACP un-American and you thought the Ku Klux Klan were okay until you learned they smoked pot. Maybe sit this one out." I just got dental work this morning and I just spat coffee all over myself. Still a teensy bit numb, sorry. The Republican from Alabama, Roll Tide, replied to Omar, "You brushed off the 9/11 attacks as some people did something. You've celebrated anti-Semitism. You have a habit of rooting for the bad guys, and you should stop unfairly demonizing our brave law enforcement officers. I, for one, will never sit out defending those who defend us." He then added, "How's your brother, by the way?" Sessions was apparently making a dig at Omar over... Oh, wait, yeah, hang on. "How's your brother, by the way?" Sorry, that's one of my favorites also.
It's funny because it's true.
It is funny because it's true. Anyway, Sessions was apparently making a dig at Omar over allegations that the marriage between her and her second husband, Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi, like a native, damn, was an immigration fraud scam and that Elmi is actually her brother. Omar has dismissed this claim as ridiculous. Omar married her third and current husband last year. Guess she's not much for browsing. He is also a consultant for her campaign, and his company has reportedly received hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, that doesn't seem any kind of shady at all, does it? Sessions is currently a candidate for the U.S. Senate for the state of Alabama. Go Bama! In a battle to win back the seat he previously held for 20 years and gave up to serve as Attorney General for the President of the United States. He is going to win back that seat in a walk, man. I'm calling that one right here now, too. Jeff Sessions has been spicy of late. And, yeah, Bama remembers him, and Bama liked Jeffy. Bama liked Jeffy a lot, so count on it. He's getting his office back, all right? Another story from the other place, just because this one tweaked me just a little, because, I don't watch regular TV. I don't even watch cable TV. Don't have it. I do all my stuff over the air. Don't I just? And I stream all of my content. I also stream content for my kids, because, you got to have your kids safe entertainment. I just don't trust the networks anymore. Point blank, end of statement. But The Blaze reporting, TV shows Cops and Live PD have been removed from the air amid the George Floyd protests. If you're a fan of law enforcement-centric content, get worried, kids. So, Cops and Live PD have been removed from air amid George Floyd protests. Somebody get Dick Wolf on the line and tell him Law and Order might be in trouble next. Holy shit! They just took it off. Take it off! Anyway, but... Man, long-running series, Cops. I used to watch that on TV when I was a kid. I mean, like little, like knee-high to a grasshopper. Bad boys, what you gonna do? When the popo, they come for you. Watch, just that is going to get me copyright popped. I've been so good this episode, I didn't use a damn thing that's copyright protected because YouTube has just been over and over and over again. Just, dude, I used audio from Woodrow Wilson, and they tried to say it was a copyright bang. I used, what was the song I used when I jump over the pond? Rule Britannia. Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. Yeah, that's so public, what do you call that? Fair use. It's so fair use and so public domain, it's not funny, and they tried to get me for that. Come on. Anyway, Cops. I've been watching it since I was a little kid, and I still love some law enforcement-centered content. Like I usually watch on YouTube now. I watch Angry Cops. I watch Donut Operator. If you're familiar with these two, they are awesome content creators. I also watch Yusha Thomas. That's a little more military-centric. And for a guy who didn't serve, I just find it funny. I think I've had so many relatives and friends who are in law enforcement who are in the military that kind of sense of humor just rubbed off. And there's stuff on there I find funny and I find interesting. And Donut Operator gives some fantastic breakdowns of police action and video from the perspective of an experienced law enforcement officer. So when something goes sideways, I check to see if Angry Cops or Donut have done a video on it, because they will give me the straight Scooby. I know I'm going to get totally no bullshit talk from those two about who was in the right, who was in the wrong. And they've called out cops when they've done dumb shit. So check them out. That's Angry Cops and Donut Operator if you get the chance. But yeah, apparently if you like law enforcement-centered content on television, it might not come back. Variety first reported Friday that A&E's decided not to run new episodes of Live PD this Friday and Saturday, while Paramount Network has delayed Season 33 launch of Cops, the long-running reality series that was scheduled to return Monday. A&E confirmed its decision in a statement saying, out of respect for the families of George Floyd and others who have lost their lives, in consultations with the departments we follow, and in consideration for the safety of all involved, we have made the decision not to broadcast Live PD this weekend. The self-censorship is real! And I'm not doing it! By the way, if you haven't had a look at facebook.com/The HoloNet, last week, the episode of The HoloNet that aired was struck down by the Facebook overlords. It was approaching the 300 mark very quickly of views. Like inside an hour, it was approaching the 300 mark. It had a motor on it, all right? This thing was spreading. It was gaining steam. Disappeared. Gone. Without a trace. No hits. No page quality notification. Nothing telling me why it was taken down. It was just missing like a fart in the wind, like it was never even there. It is there on YouTube. It is there on BitChute. And you know what? I re-uploaded it back onto Facebook. So if you want to check out last week's episode of The HoloNet, you can either go to theholonet.com, you can go to iHeartRadio and Mojo 50. You can find us on Spreaker. But yeah, they are trying to put a muzzle on the HoloNet. It was inevitable. I thought I was small enough where I wasn't going to piss in anybody's cornflakes enough to really get noticed. Nope. And listen to the name of this. Fix our culture, fix our police, unite our nation, and launch America. That was last week's episode of the HoloNet. Boom! Pulled down by Facebook. No questions asked. No notifications given or reasons given. Re-uploaded it. It's back. You can see it there. Oh, that pissed me off so bad. Anyway, I did want to talk to you about one more great supporter of the HoloNet before we go, because we've got just under a minute here. Wanted to tell you about Sueño de Torres. Sueño de Torres fine cigars. You can go on sueñodetorres.com. facebook.com/pages/constitutional. Link will be in the description if you want to support the show. 50% of the profit from every one of these fantastic Connecticut Wrapped Toro cigars goes to support the HoloNet. It's Dominican tobacco, hand-rolled fresh to order in Tampa, Florida. The Constitutional delivers a mild smoke with a perfect ash. It's about an hour and a half of aromatic freedom. It's an incredible cigar. I'm going to ask Jen to send me like a case of them again, because I blew through the ones that I had. I was giving them away. I smoked like 2. And they're great cigars. Really affordable, too, for a fine hand-rolled Dominican cigar. It's rolled in kind of the Cuban style because, that's down in Miami area, in Tampa, Florida. So you got that heavy Cuban influence. And, if you want to support a fantastic company that is conservative in nature, libertarian, entrepreneurial, this is run by Jennifer Torres. Of late, That's What She Said here on Mojo 50 Radio. She stepped away from her show in order to pursue her passion, and this is one of the passions that she's pursued. And Sueño de Torres is doing a hell of a business. You can order humidors there, you can order cigar accessories, but if you are a cigar aficionado, if you enjoy these products, or if you have one in your life, you can go on to sueñodetorres.com and order some fantastic cigars and some great accessories today. Also, you can order the Dirty Dozen. Ask him about ordering the Dirty Dozen. That gives you all of the signature Mojo 50 cigars, including the Izzo, which is a Maduro, the Handy J, the Stags, the Stucci, Rocky Stucci's. So make sure you check that out. And by the way, before I go, make sure you're listening to Andy Coppins and Patrick Oney, my fellow members of the Millennial Conservative Resistance, my brothers from another mother. And coming up after this, you are going to have Cowboy Logic with Donna Fiducia. Guys, take care of yourselves. Be safe. Good night. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. From Phoenix, I'm Matt Holloway.